Welcome. Today we're going to be sharing a little bit about the emotion of blame. The difference between a feeling and emotion, I believe, is an emotion is a feeling that you've already had and processed and named and labeled. A feeling is current, it's present, it's an awareness, a state of being that you are in self-mastery with. Now, the emotion of blame, whether it's the doctors who couldn't cure the patients and the loss in COVID, or is it the patient and their immunity of what they could do? Who do you blame? Who do you want to blame, to give authority and power over to? It's going to a doctor and saying, fix me, but the doctor isn't there every day with you with your thoughts and your feelings and your ability and your capacity. You are part of the solution. So blame happens when we deny that we're part of the solution, that the worth within us isn't worthy of love and attention in a positive way, and reinforcing life and the value of life and your reason of why you want to live and what the being that you is, what you're here to contribute, your ability to respond from that spark or passion in you, and to be able to live in the best sharing that you know that will create a purposeful impact. Blame doesn't live in that world. Brené Brown is one of the most incredible world experts. She has resources that are phenomenal, and she'll tell you herself, please look to her site. But blame literally leads to shame, which leads to paralysis. It's a poison and toxin that paralyzes you and keeps you in a state where you are nothing, literally no thing. You're not even an object. And your sense of value and identity, basically, you become invisible. And so you learn from blame because there's your parents who are blaming and their parents who blamed, and so it becomes a habit. So stop your habits and start thinking, what am I doing and how am I contributing to this? Where do I agree that I'm to blame? Or am I a person that says, yes, I'm accountable for that. I made a mistake. What is it that I'm doing to correct that? And what is the value I need to be able to apply to create that solution? So it starts with accountability, and that leads from integrity. It comes from value. Shame becomes an illness. It leads to terminal illness, it leads to dementia, it leads to blood diseases, it leads to economic loss. It literally paralyzes everything. And it's like water. If it's not running, it's not healthy. So don't drink from shame. Shame is put in place when another person, object or thing or situation is threatened by who you are. So shame is actioned, and you shame yourselves too by your own narratives. We do. We're all human. There are those narratives that are within us that we learn. We should, have to, must, ought to, got to, be, do. Now, who are you in that? And so we're so used to living in the habit of shame and the enzymes of shame that lead to diabetes and cancer and all kinds of other things. Your immune system can't respond. It's paralyzed. So shame is the opportunity to believe that you are not what another person says you are or does in activities towards you that may be degenerative or degrading or belittling or cruel, and you aren't another person's reality, you are your own. So the first thing is to learn how to accept that innate divine dignity. I'm not talking about arrogance. The second is the ability to lead with love. So if another person wants to shame you and say you're bad or you're different or it's about going back to thank you for showing me what you're thinking. Thank you for showing me what you feel. Thank you for sharing with me what's going on in your head and your heart. And I hope that you can heal that. What I know for myself is, and you literally go back to yourself. Don't talk about others. Get on with doing you. That's how you show that you're not living from shame. The third thing is to be able to change any judgments that you have learned to be in living in coexistence with, codependent. Shame creates codependency. So an alcoholic will say, I'm drinking because you do this and you do that and it's your fault and I'm stressed. And then the person who is now codependent with that person, whether it's a mother or father or relationships, lots of codependency, we all play a part, is going to be to blame and feel shame, there's a lot of misuse and abuse that happens from shame. And your belief in the shame rather than in what peace and love can do and how you can move away into your own sense of self and start to build your world in a loving, respectful, honoring, divine way. So that third part is about owning what's yours, letting go of what isn't, and having the courage, despite the situation, circumstance, person, or the event that you might be in right now, and say, I'm more than the shame. Because shame looks down, it minimizes, it is punitive, it is dehumanizing. And that is a lie. Because you are love. So if you believe in shame, you're believing a lie. So look at what you really want to believe. Be and live.